sis? Are you feeling emotions that are coming up lately? And what's confusing you is that it's connected to something from long time ago. Like you thought you already dealt with that. But now it's showing up again. And now you're left wondering like, why now? Like why is this coming back now? If that's you, sis, let's talk about it. Because grief doesn't just show up right away. So this could be some delayed grief that didn't show up right away. Sometimes it waits. Yep. And then what happens is it's like when it comes back, it's not because you're going backwards or anything like that. That's not what's happening. It's because like something in you is finally ready to process it. Yeah, you're ready to process it now. So now it's coming all back. Yep. And when it does, sometimes that can feel kind of confusing because it's like, where is this coming from and why now? Because in your mind, you're thinking, like I said, this had already happened a long time ago. I should already be past this. Yeah. But the thing is that grief doesn't follow a timeline. Mm-mm. There's no timeline. So let me clarify it and break this down a little bit so it makes a little bit more sense. So think about like emotional processing like a filing system, okay? Like files. And when something happens in your life, your mind and your heart, it tries to process it, right? And so that file, it's filed away as like part of your life story. So that particular file is filed away as part of your life story, right? And so what happens is that when life doesn't slow down, when you don't even have the space to feel, when you have like responsibilities, people depending on you, things that need your attention, you got a lot of stuff going on at work, it's swamped, you got a lot of kids or a kid that's like in all kind of sports or whatever, and it's just you still need to keep moving. So like sometimes that emotional processing gets interrupted because you're going and you don't going and you don't process it. Yeah. So it's interrupted. So instead of being fully processed, what happens is those emotions, they get placed into what we call like a like a temporary holding space. Because remember, we're talking about files. So that gets temporarily filed in a temporary holding space. Okay. So not gone though. It's not like totally vanished or gone, just not fully processed yet. Okay. And so what happens is then later when life becomes a little bit quieter or a little bit safer emotionally, then those feelings come back. So then it comes all back, not because like something was wrong with you or anything like that, but because your heart is finally ready to actually process it. Okay. And so it didn't have the space to process it before because it wasn't ready. It was just too much. And too much was going on, and then you kept yourself busy, so you didn't even have time to process it yet. So let's talk about now like what happens psychologically or like mentally, like when all this stuff is going on. So what happens is internally is that your brain is always trying to make sense of your experiences, okay? And so but it prioritizes survival first. Okay. So even though your brain is trying to make sense of all your experiences, anything that's heightened, like feeling like fight or flight or survival, is going to prioritize that first. Okay. So if something painful happens, during that time when you're trying to like stay strong and kind of work through all these things, then your brain may delay processing that particular emotion. Okay? It's like your mind saying something like, we'll come back to this later. We'll come back to this file later when it's safe. Because remember, we stored it over here. So now we'll come back to it later when it's safe. Okay? And so when that later does actually come, those emotions also resurface. And that's why you start getting the emotions, because now you can process it, whereas before you couldn't process it. Okay. And this is where a lot of people misunderstand like what is actually happening. So they think things like, oh, I thought I was already healed because it's been so long, or it's been a certain period of time, or I thought I was over this. But the actual truth is that you're not going backwards. You're processing something that was never fully processed. So you never fully processed it yet. So it's not that you're going backwards at all, okay? And so that part of the healing is what's necessary because it's part of your healing, okay? And so if grief has shown up later in your life, just understand that, you're not behind or anything like that. You're not failing. It's just that your heart is continuing to heal. So things are just, you're trying to heal and you're continuing to heal. And that, is what is actually happening. Now, just understand too that God is not going to rush your healing. He doesn't rush your healing, okay? He meets you at every stage, wherever you are in your healing, on whatever stage or whatever file you're at. He's meeting you there, okay? Even the parts that come later, he's still there because remember, he knows the beginning and the end, okay? And so he even knows the parts that's going to come, or that does come, that you didn't even expect. So don't judge yourself like if you're feeling bad or down or anything like that, or feel like why shouldn't I should be over this or whatever. No, just meet yourself with compassion and just have compassion for yourself and understanding, because delayed grief is not actually a problem. It's a continuation. It's like healing, you go in layers sometimes, and take steps to heal. Okay. So I hope that helps you and makes sense of some things. If you found yourself like coming back to something and like, oh my God, I should be over this. Why is this happening? Why did this come out the blue? I hope this made sense and helped you understand and give you some clarity as to what was going on. And my name is Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, life coach, and mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. And I like to do things and study topics and talk about things to help us heal physically, emotionally, and also our wellness, just to kind of keep us on track and help us to have peace. I too went through grief, like a period, like where it was boom, 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 boom. And so I do understand, and I can connect with you and understand what you're going through if you're dealing with that right now. But just understand everyone's healing journey is a process, and no two journeys are the same. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, you should be over this, or oh, this should only be this. Nobody can tell you what your own healing is going to look like, because everybody may grieve differently and things may happen differently, okay? So again, if any part of this message helped you, please let me know in the comments, or give me a thumbs up to let me know thank you, or this really did help me understand some things and what I was going through. And also this channel, I'm trying to grow it. I'm a new channel, so I'm trying to get out there so we can find others that need help in healing. Like and subscribe and turn your notifications on. I generally have a drop a video every day. That's my goal, to drop some type of video. It may not always be grief, but it's always something in line with faith, healing, and emotional wellness. Okay. Also, I am wishing you that you have peace, love, joy, and happiness. And I hope you have a fabulous day today. All right. Bye. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.